Welcome to Boston.
I flew to Boston, Massachusetts on the longest domestic flight in the United States on Hawaiian Airlines, 5,095 miles on a direct flight from Honolulu to Boston's Logan International Airport. I took a poll a couple months ago on where viewers like you would like to see me travel solo. The winner was Boston. I lived in Massachusetts for 4 years during college and experienced many life learning lessons here and made many wonderful friends who I still keep in contact with today. I can't wait to show you Massachusetts, which is a beautiful state that's rich in U.S. history and amazing delicious food.
Hey guys, what's up? I am finally here in Boston. I'm at the rent-a-car place, just got off the bus or that shuttle from the airport to get your rental car. And I made it through the nor'easter. It didn't start yet, it's still just beginning. And if you don't know what a nor'easter is, it's pretty much almost like a winter hurricane, but because of the freezing temperatures, it becomes like a blizzard. So we'll see if it's a dud or not, and it kind of put a damper on my plans. I was going to walk around Boston and show you it, but if it starts snowing heavily, I think I'm just going to cut it short for the day. The lady at my Airbnb was nice and let me check in earlier. Check-in was supposed to be 5 p.m. I landed at 6:50 a.m., so I have some time to kill. So we'll go walk around and check it out and see what we can do pending the weather.
All right, we're in Quincy, 20 minutes out of Boston. This is the first Dunkin' Donuts ever made. Established 1950. It's the original one. All right, so I couldn't really show the inside. It's anything different from any other Dunkin' Donuts. They have some wallpaper that they printed of the original, what it looked like back then, which kind of looked the same, maybe a different sign, but it's here in Quincy. That is the first Dunkin' Donuts ever made, and I know a lot of Dunkin' Donuts have come in and out of Hawaii for many years, and then they go out of business, and then they come back. After tasting Dunkin' Donuts, or we call it Dunkin' in Massachusetts, it is totally different, I think. I think it's way better. I think the funny thing is a lot of Massachusetts people and in New England in general or East Coast, they love Dunkin' Donuts, and you can see one across the street, and then if you go across that street, you can see another one at another strip mall. Like you can actually see it, 2 Dunkin' Donuts across the street. I believe the small town I used to live in has, if you count on Google, I think it's like 10 Dunkin' Donuts within a town that's probably as small as Kapolei or something. And I don't know how they stay in business, but they do. That's how much people in Massachusetts love Dunkin' Donuts. And I will say the taste is totally different. It's way better. I usually like to get an iced regular coffee, which is usually like 2 cream, 2 sugar, or 3 cream, 3 sugar. Funny thing is, going to the Hawaiian Airlines terminal, there was a Dunkin' there, and I got some iced coffee, and it was actually not so bad. Whoever made it wasn't bad. So when I used to live here, there wasn't as much Starbucks, and now there's a sprinkling of them here and there. But most people in New England like Dunkin' Donuts more than Starbucks. Starbucks is more like a West Coast thing, and I think it tastes terrible in Hawaii. It doesn't taste the same. So if you ever get a chance to taste it in Massachusetts or New England or the East Coast, definitely try it. Way different. I have a friend that lives in Maui that actually says he totally gets it now. He went to New Jersey and tried it and always hated Dunkin' Donuts, but now he really understands why it's so good. I got a piping hot black coffee because it is freezing. Just walking from the parking lot, which I didn't park too far away, to the door, I was just shivering because it is pelting rain and my whole jacket is wet. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm really craving some chowder and I really had plans to go on a walking tour of Boston. I can do it on another day. I have time, but this intro's not too great, but you wanted raw vlogging, and this is how it goes. Can't control the weather. Actually, I'm very lucky to have made it here. I talked to the guy who let me out of the rent-a-car place. They have a center, kind of like Las Vegas and San Diego, and he said they canceled all the flights after mine landed. So whoever lands early and left the day before could make it into Boston, but after that, it's all canceled. So that would have ruined this whole trip, because Hawaiian Airlines only comes to Boston, like, I think twice a week, or very limited. It's not an everyday thing. So tomorrow should clear up. It's supposed to snow tomorrow morning, and then it's going to be windy, but it's going to clear up, and the rest of the week should be awesome. So I don't know, I guess I'll just wing it or just hang out in this car to keep warm. I don't mind cold weather, but once you get wet, you just can't control anything. But this coffee hits the spot. Sorry, it's a food channel, but I don't have much to tell you. My favorite to get at Dunkin in Massachusetts, I'd always order this every morning, but now they have sprinkles. I never had sprinkles. Another Boston word, Jimmy's. They call them Jimmy's, not sprinkles. I used to just get them like I'd ask for a chocolate frosted donut. That's what they're called. And they never had sprinkles, but this is all they had. So I love these. I think they're much flakier and fresher here. So I'm gonna enjoy this donut. I'm kind of starving. I will say Hawaiian Airlines does feed you well. Fed us twice on the plane, and it's free, even in the economy. So we had a nice stir-fry vegetable with rice. That actually, it looked gross, but it actually tasted good. And then they served a light breakfast, a cookie and muffin from La Tour Cafe, and some cheese and crackers and an orange, I think. So that was nice. So this is kind of, I guess, my breakfast until I find something else to eat. Just as good as I remember. Probably have chocolate all over my face, but I just think the pastry tastes way better than elsewhere. Like, you just have to get the donuts and the pastries and the coffee here in New England, and the chocolate's so good. I don't know what it is about it. So my initial plans were to, if it wasn't this kind of weather, was to, after having breakfast at Dunkin, park at one of the T stations. The T is short for MBTA, the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. It's a long word, but it's basically the subway. And I was gonna just take the T to Boston. That way you don't have to pay for an expensive parking garage, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. We'll see. Because if I do that and it snows later on, I don't have a shovel to shovel out my car. And I'm not getting stuck in a parking lot. That would totally suck. They do have parking lots with garages, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. Either that, or maybe I'll be lazy and just park at one of those garages that are cheaper in Boston just for today and take the T for the rest. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this donut and I'll let you know what I decide to do. All right, so I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. I was gonna wait till the end for this if it was a normal day, but I figure it's indoors, I can keep dry. I'd rather walk in snow than rain, because at least my clothes aren't being soaking wet and then I'm not gonna freeze to death. So we're here at famous Gillette Stadium, and I am a Patriots fan. I get a lot of hate for it, but I was a fan a long time ago when I believe Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback. I had a Bledsoe jersey in high school. I'm gonna put the window up because it's super freezing. I think it's 40 degrees still, but the rain makes it worse. So this stadium is enormous. So I'm gonna park closer and we're gonna go to the Patriot Hall of Fame. It's over there. That way I don't get wet, but it's pretty much a tour of just all Patriots memorabilia. There's a pro shop. This is one of the only stadiums, unfortunately, that doesn't give a stadium tour. When I used to go to college here, this didn't even exist, so I've never been here before. It was Foxborough Stadium. They tore it down and they built Gillette Stadium, so this is kind of brand new. And hopefully there is an entrance near the Hall of Fame side where you can get a sneak peek of what it looks like inside at the football field. Okay, we're gonna walk inside now. This is the Hall of Fame where you can take a tour. You can get tickets online. I got them for today, and when you get them for the day, you just come at any time during opening and I think half an hour before closing. Oh no, it looks like they're doing something like construction here, but that was the area where you could see the field over there. But we'll see. I don't know if it's even open. It does have a flag saying it's open, but it looks kind of dark in there. Let's go check it out. I'm excited to look at some historic memorabilia. Supposed to have some old jerseys, I believe even some Super Bowl rings. So let's go inside before I freeze my buns off. Oh my goodness. My goodness, this is heaven for me. All these jerseys, baby clothes, doggy clothes, everything Patriots. Pretty awesome. Some Mac Jones jerseys for the kids. I like this old school one. $84.99. Damn. I used to have this exact jersey, Drew Bledsoe. And this was my time when I liked the Patriots with Ty Law and Teddy Bruschi. Great team. And then they blew up with Brady. And then everyone hated us. That's my favorite player, McCourty. I have his jersey. I like him. He's defense, Devin. And it says he wore this jersey during the Patriots' 37-31 overtime win over the Kansas City Chiefs in 2018. You can see, I'm not sure if it catches, the scuff marks on his jersey from falling on the ground. Those are his gloves and his shoes. Pretty cool. You see all these designs and stuff. And people always ask me, why didn't you go to a game? And I've had many chances to, but all my friends always said, at the end we're like, we're not gonna go because we don't want to freeze our butts off. I don't know why they didn't make it a closed stadium because it's cold here, but they always play it on TV because that's the home team. So you see it free every Sunday on TV, not like Hawaii where they change different teams all the time. So it's guaranteed to be on TV. So we just stay at home because it's free. Those are old helmets. Look at that, 1876 from Yale when they defeated Harvard. And this little helmet, this leather thing, is from 1929. Little book of American football. Different uniforms. Here's an old school football. Look at how fat that is. It's almost like a rugby ball. 1909. And here is some old shoes. It says from 1931. Providence Steamroller uniform. We don't even have that team anymore. But it says playing in the NFL. Was it an NFL team? So that's the shoes, and that's the uniform. The glare's in the way, but it looks almost like pajamas. Here's a bunch of old school jerseys from 1966. That's the oldest one with the old school Patriots logo. That's my favorite logo. Then it progresses to a more modern, you know, the modern logo with that Patriot with a triangular design. then you get to the more modern times, the Patriots we know, Wes Welker, Brady and all. So these in the cases are their actual shoes and uniforms they wore. You can see Gronk's uniform all busted up from the game. That's Devin McCourty's second intercepted ball from the win over the New York Jets in 2022. Brady's uniform, and it also all has scuff marks from being played. So these are worn and played in games. That's Edelman's. It's got dirt on it. Another Brady jersey, all scuffed up. And there's Zap. So remember I told you about that when you stood out there, you were able to see the inside of the stadium? Well, they're doing construction, so you can't see, but you can see through there. There used to be a wide opening without all this stuff. You could see right through it. Like I said, this is the only stadium that doesn't give you actual tours of the stadium. I'll try to use my phone to zoom in, but you can see the seats and where people sit in the skybox up there. It's pretty cool. And up there is where you could walk around the stadium to get food and stuff. This whole Patriots place also has shops. It's got a Trader Joe's and a bunch of restaurants too. So there's lots to do here. It's almost like a little mini mall and not just a stadium. These are all the huddle, and they're kind of the size of what football players would be, and you can see how short I am compared to these massive players. Ring from the Super Bowl 2019, 2017, 2015. That was an exciting game with Seattle. 2005, 2004, and 2002. Vince Lombardi trophies. It's pretty awesome. Here's some old seats from Foxborough Stadium. And final game was in 2002. By then I left here. Never got to sit in these seats, but they don't feel too comfy. They're like metal too. So I could only imagine what they felt like in the winter. Alright, so I'm here. Brave in the cold and the rain. Found some parking. It's probably going to be expensive. But I'm going to Quincy Market. It's a old public market that used to house grocers where you could buy your meat. There's butchers and people that sold produce and stuff, and now it's all a bunch of like restaurants and places to eat, and you can go upstairs and actually see some of the original signs from the grocers back in the 1800s. And we'll go get some chowder and a lobster roll. It's kind of touristy, but at this place you can't go wrong. It's not going to taste bad, and I'm craving some hot soup because it's super cold. So we'll go have some lunch. Over there, this building is Faneuil Hall. You can get a bunch of trinkets and stuff. Obviously it's really dead today, which is actually great. It's very touristy, and this whole place is usually full. You can go in there and get souvenirs and things. And this is it. Let me turn around. I'm stepping in puddles and my shoes are getting wet. There's Quincy Market. Very famous. And that little dome over there is where you can go upstairs to eat. Yeah, kind of nuts how, I guess it's a good thing.
positive side to it, that it's not crowded. Because usually this whole place is full of people. There's a Boston main fish company. A lot of people like to go there. It's a bunch of lobsters and a lot of different seafood. We're going to go to the Lobster Chowder company instead. Chinese food. We got some Maine lobster. I'm gonna try the chowder right now. It's actually pretty flavorful for a toasty spot. Lots of clams and stuff, and it really warms you up when it's cold. The roll is pretty big. The taste is good, but the lobster tastes tough, like it's been sitting out all day. Some sides are like really dry, but it's got a good seasoning. So I'm done eating, and guess what happened? It's snowing. Finally. I gotta find the way back to my car, but this is the famous statue, and he's got a cigar. I always like a man with a cigar. Arnold Ackerbach, leader of the Boston Celtics, and Bill Rogers. That's a plaque for him. Lots of shops here, and different things to see. Hopefully the camera can catch the snow. Super pretty. I don't mind it. And actually when it starts to snow, the weird thing is it doesn't feel as cold. It gets colder when it starts to sit. But this is kind of like a wet snow. So I got a text from my Airbnb hostess just now, and she said I can check in whenever I want to. And that was very nice of her. And she's doing it only because of the weather. So the food wasn't bad. I know it's a touristy spot. I'm avoiding puddles. But it's a go-to if you really don't want to drive around and look for some places that are good. And the #1 spot for both tourists and locals is Neptune Oyster, and I refuse to sit or stand in that line. They don't take reservations. Maybe if I feel up to it, I'll do takeout. But you can go next door to Neptune Oyster and get a lobster roll from Polly's, and they're both going to be expensive as well. So it doesn't matter. They used to be really cheap here. If you go on the outskirts of Boston, like we got some rolls in the North Shore area, which is near like Peabody and Salem. They're much cheaper. So, but if you're in the city, you're gonna pay a lot. I will say it had some Greek seasonings on it, which made it very interesting and actually tastes good. The food was nice and hot, but the clam chowder is definitely winner. So if you want clam chowder and you're not into lobster rolls and you just want a cheap cup of chowder, definitely get a small bowl of that, because it's not too expensive. Or you can get it in a bread bowl, but I think it's way more expensive for that. I had my receipt here. I can find it. And it was quite expensive. For just the soup and the sandwich, it was $34.22. That's to put the camera down because there's a lot of traffic and the snow plowers are out getting ready. So that's the view from inside the parking structure that I'm at, and I'm gonna hilly on and pay because they charge, you know, by the time. So I'm gonna go over there to the machine and pay and go to my Airbnb. Okay, I finally made it to my Airbnb. It's just a cheap room in somebody's house, but it's totally separate. You have a separate entrance outside. I didn't film outside because I just wanted to get on in. It's starting to snow over here now. This is south of Boston, Rockland. It is all old houses here, so they're creaky and very steep stairs. So if you are disabled or have a hard time walking, you might not want to book this, but you can't beat it. 55 bucks. You have your own side, your own restroom, bathroom, sink, toilet. You've got towels in there, towels up here, and a claw bathtub. So same thing. If you don't feel like you can climb out of here, it's an old-fashioned type of bathtub, but I've seen a lot of these over here in New England. My friend Adam, who used to rent in Boston on Boylston, also had one of those bathtubs. So a pretty nice bed. I threw my stuff on it. Old-fashioned radiator heater, so I don't see a thermostat, so that kind of worries me. But it's pretty comfortable in here so far. I just hope it doesn't get really cold tonight. Park the car out there so I can see it. Even though we're kind of on the main drag, you see all the cars, I don't hear anything. So the windows are pretty soundproof. And you get Keurig, paper towels, Clorox wipes, cups and plates, and a microwave. Looks like a little closet thing with a couple of dressers. And I apologize, I just went over my Boston video to make sure it came out okay, and I kind of bent the GoPro, I guess it's the adapter, so my Rode mic wasn't working, so it was using the regular GoPro audio. So it sounds really soft. Hopefully it'll be okay. I got a mini fridge in here. That's all my junk I threw up there. A little working desk. And it's simple. $55. You can't find anything like that around Boston or even South Boston. I believe for this summer, the cheapest hotel I could get was like $140 a night. And it's like a Best Western. It's not even good. And I'm only staying here for 3 days because it's kind of far from the airport. I don't want to rush. So for the last day, I'm going to stay in Quincy in a Howard Johnson. Same thing. That was about, I want to say around $100 or in maybe low 90s, high 90s, something like that. But it's not the greatest hotel at all. So $55, this is nice. I like it. And it's also got a TV, I forgot. So it has Wi-Fi, everything, and some decorations. I'm not really going to be here. Maybe today is probably the only day I'll stay here for a while due to the weather, but the other days I'll be out all day. It's just a place to sleep.
All right, I'm on Beach Street in Chinatown over here, and you can see it's snowing, and I'm trying to find a hot pot place that I bookmarked, so we'll just take a walk and check it out. I will go more into the walkway, the famous walkway of Chinatown, maybe on another day, towards the end of my trip, where it's supposed to be a little sunnier, and plus it's getting kind of dark. So I just want to eat my food and drive back to my Airbnb, which is about 30 minutes away, but it's actually not too bad without traffic. You can hear the sounds of Boston, people pissed off and beeping at each other. I've only heard it 3 times today, which is impressive. That's full pasture. I went to the one in Brookline, I believe. It closed down, but it's a famous Boston place to eat for pho. And if you're gonna say, why are you going against the signal? Did you know a jaywalking ticket in Boston is only $1? And they don't even enforce it. So you can get tagged up to 3 times and it's still $1, and your 4th offense is $2. Liu Yi Shou Hot Pot. I don't even know if it's open. Looks like it's open, I think. But it looks kind of crowded. I don't know, there's a big wait for that. Well, maybe I might have to eat pho, because it is way too busy in there, and there's a long wait. Of course, because it's perfect weather. Well, there's Happy Lamb across the street. Maybe it sucks because nobody's there. I'm gonna try it then. Happy Lamb Hot Pot. Let's do this. All right, so seems like they're very friendly, and they have different broths. I usually go for tomato. Maybe I'll do that. And you can order your different meats. And I think in the back are some veggies. And you just grab a pen that he gives you, and you mark how much you want and what things you want. Well, that was a very awesome dinner. It's still snowing, although it's wet snow, so it doesn't stick to the ground. And I'm gonna go back to my car and pretty much enjoy the rest of the evening and take a nice long sleep. The food was awesome. I couldn't really talk in there because they, again, once I started talking, all these people came in, and then they started blasting this Chinese music. It was kind of like Chinese pop. Similar to K-pop, I guess. But the last song I heard before leaving there sounded like a Chinese type O negative. That was really weird. Imagine Peter from Type O Negative singing in a very low voice in a gothic way, but in Chinese. Anywho, I'm almost to the parking garage. I don't know, it's evening special parking rate. I didn't take the T again because of the weather. So maybe, because it's one flat rate for evening parking, we'll go walk around and check out some stuff. Let me flip this camera so you can see the rest of Chinatown. So this is Beach Street that we're on, and that's Harrison Street, or Harrison Avenue. And they got your typical boba drinks here. There's like big puddles of water. You gotta jump over them. Some banh mi sandwich places, Chinese bakeries. Hopefully you get the sights and sounds of Boston since you like raw vlogging. I'm not gonna talk too much. can feel like you're walking here in the snow with me. But this is the famous Chinatown gateway that most Chinatowns have. We'll get a little closer so you can see it. Here it is, that Chinatown gateway. In the summer it should be nice because it's got a lot of tables right here where you can eat your food right here with the lights. And then they have the dragons. Back up a bit. But yeah. All the flowers are out, getting ready. We'll come back here on another day and walk around, try some bakeries. There's a bakery on the corner that I wanted to try, that Hing Shin pastry bakery. Try some of their buns. So hopefully you enjoyed that part of the walk. Just a short walk. I'll try to come back when the weather's better, maybe Thursday. But to talk about the food, before I go to my car, I really like that Happy Lamb hot pot. Quite a little different from Hawaii because they don't give you rice, but that's actually authentic. In Hawaii, we eat way too much rice. In China, they usually just eat what you pick for the hot pot. I thought the prices were reasonable for a big city, and I think for all the things I ordered, 2 meats and I think it's 3 vegetables, and I kind of splurged on the drink. I really, really like that lychee tea. I got 2 of them. It was 49 bucks, so kind of expensive, but definitely, obviously I'm by myself. They don't charge by the person. So if you were to come with another person or a group of 3, that's not bad. I actually did pretty well and I finished almost all of the food. I would say the thing that I didn't really care for were the meatballs, but that garlic meat that I chanced getting on, I've never seen before, and that was delicious. It was very thinly cut and tender, but it had that garlicky but sesame oil taste. Reminded me of Korean food, except you're throwing it in a boiling hot pot instead of grilling it. But definitely come check it out. I'm glad I went there. And if you're ever in the Chinatown area and craving some hot pot and you're here during cold months, definitely check it out. Sad I couldn't try the other one, but I think things happen for a reason, so that is probably why. The gods and the universe wanted me to try Happy Lamb, and I was very happy. Especially that drink was delicious. It reminded me of something from that Hawaiian Sun lychee tea drink. So if you like that, you'll definitely like that one over there. All right, so I'm gonna drive back home and I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully the weather's better. And if you like this, press the like button. And if you wanna follow along, keep going. I have 3 more days here and we'll go explore different parts of Boston, talk about some history and eat some food. Peace out, take care.